Good morning. Do a quick audio check here. Okay, seems to be good. I'm finally back home, if you couldn't tell. So back from vacation. Well, vacation was fun, and it's nice to be back home here. Just trying to get everything kind of set back up. You can see we moved down to the 15287 there, kind of bounced out of there in a little bit. Just trying to get all my charts pulled up here. Let's see. All right. It's kind of amazing how weird everything feels after you've been trading on a laptop for, I don't know, about 10 days. Then you get back home and you have all these. I have 4 monitors set up here at the house, which I did have 3 monitors. You know, my laptop setup. Travel station is 3 monitors, but they're a lot smaller than these are. So just kind of getting everything set up here. We're almost there. All right, well, we did cross over to the 3 a.m. time here. Let me look and see. So you can see we took out the lows there, so we're kind of looking for a potential market structure shift to the upside here. See if we can get it. And look for an entry, potentially. All right. Looks like it wants to move lower first. Looks like ES low overnight there's 44.78. Well, we're getting a little spike back up here to the upside. I don't know what's going on with my trade of 8 or with these charts on the Apex charts. My VWAP, it's not on there. Have to check that out. See what the deal is with that. Kind of hanging out right here at this 15,300 level right now. We really didn't move at all overnight until I guess we started moving down at about 1:45 this morning. Kind of started trading down a little bit there. Let's see if we get some kind of structure shift back to the upside here. See if we can't find an entry. So technically on the 1 minute chart there's a shift to the upside there. See, we broke this swing high, this little swing high. Potentially could break this one at the 04 level. See how this candle kind of closes here. So I'll put this little order out there at 97.25. See if we can't get tagged in there. The reason I'm choosing that area is because you can see there's a volume imbalance there. It's also an imbalance there on the 3-minute chart. Of course, we do have this fair value gap here that is kind of trading back up into. So, I mean, there's always the possibility that it just trades up into there and then kind of sells off for the low again. But this appears to be a structure shift to the upside, so we're just going to go with that. And if we get tagged in here, we'll just be kind of targeting, first target will be kind of that swing high right there. So I'll take one contract off there and then maybe place a second order, maybe 10 handles higher or something. And on the over here on the apex, we'll take 4 contracts off there and try to leave a runner on possibly. We'll be back to trading the New York session, streaming that as well tomorrow morning. Well, later this morning, 9:30 a.m. So if you trade that session, look for me there. ES is moving up, bounced off that 78 area. There's a pivot on the ES at 83. It's kind of at that pivot right now. We got a pivot at 17, right where I have my take profit on the NQ. There's a pivot there, so something to be mindful of. Let's just be patient here, see if this thing comes back and tags us in. Thinking it's going to come back and tag us in here. I mean, I guess technically I could have it at the 98 area there, but I think that we'll get tagged in. I need something to drink, guys. I'll be right back. Let me get a drink, see if we get tagged in while I'm going. All right, I'm back. Well, I didn't get tagged in yet. Just got to be patient here, see if this comes back and gets us there or not. Not going to be too aggressive on it this morning. Just going to look for, like I said, I mean, really looking for a 20 handle move. May try to leave one runner on, like I said, but other than that, see if we can't get a little 20 handle move and kind of go from there. Trying to be patient here, see if this thing comes back and tags us in. You know, always, there's a lot of times I'll just hit the buy button right here because I'm just impatient. And then I end up taking drawdown because it comes right back to where I wanted to be entered at. So let's just give it a try and see what happens. I am going to be trying out a little different strategy during the New York session. Going to be doing still taking some of the same entries that I've been taking, but I am going to be trying out some different things. So you'll see a little different trading during the New York session. If you haven't already, hit that like button for me, subscribe. I appreciate it. Helps out the channel. If you guys are interested in trading futures, you know, we do have the link for the Apex there in the description. Coupon code at the top to save 90%. I do believe that ends tomorrow at midnight Eastern time, so July 6th at midnight. So I'm pretty happy with this structure shift to the upside here. Now we just need it to come back down and tag us in. And then ideally continue higher at that point. ES is trading up into the 83, so kind of right there at that pivot. Like I said, NQ has a pivot up at the 17, so that's kind of where we'll be taking the majority of our position off anyway, and then seeing if we can't get a runner going. It's so weird. On nights where I don't really leave a runner, the market just trends in the same direction that I was already in the position in. And it goes, you know, 30, 40 points higher than where I took profit. And then on nights where I leave a runner, it doesn't go anywhere. Stops me out for a break even. So approaching the 20 SMA here on the 3-minute chart. Yeah, this is where, this thing is like, I'm over here like, man, I should have just jumped in, but let's try to display some patience here. Wait for it to come back and tag our order in and go from there. Because, you know, every time I try to jump in just like, oh, it's going to go, I always jump in before I get confirmation, and then I get stopped out for a couple of losses. To kind of start the session, that's what happened twice last week. I was down, I don't know, $400 or $500 before I even took the setup I was really looking for. And then by the time I took the setup, you know, we only were up a couple $100 after the trade, when we could have been up quite a bit more. So let's just be patient. See if it comes back and gets our order. Almost always does. So if you're patient enough. So if you're new here, you can see I got my Top Step account on the left there, and I got the Apex account on the right. These are both challenge accounts. I'm still in step 2 of the Top Step. Currently in a bit of drawdown. I think I'm down about $800 or so on this particular combine. And I'm up about $600 on the Apex. I do have one funded Apex account. I'm going to get that one active tomorrow and we'll be trading that one. Only in the London session will I trade that funded account. So, how's it going, Karan? I'm bullish currently. So we're looking for a shift to the upside, which we got. So as you can see, if we go back and look here, we kind of traded down. We made a new low. And then we're just looking for a structure shift to the upside, which we got here. So we took out this little swing high. We took out one swing high, two swing highs here on the 1 minute chart. So what we're looking for this price action to do is to trade back down into this breaker here. And then we have a small volume imbalance right here below this fair value gap. So I believe it's going to repaint this imbalance, and then you can see it on the 3 minute chart as well. You can see an imbalance right here. There's a volume imbalance there. So I'm thinking that price will revisit this imbalance here and tag us in before moving higher. So that's kind of the idea of this setup here. Now, obviously, price may not come all the way back down to 97 and a quarter. I mean, technically, I could take an entry there at 99.50, but I'm trying to get a little bit better of an entry. I usually underestimate a little bit, so I am looking at the ES as well. I have it pulled up over here. Is that what you're trading, Kron? Are you on the ES? Kind of have a similar setup there on the ES as well. So I watch both. The ES, I used to trade the ES all the time, and they used to be the only thing I traded. And then I started trading the NQ, and I just kind of fell in love with the speed of the NQ. I like how quickly it moves. So the ES, you have to have a little more patience for it, and I don't have the patience for the ES. So, but I do watch the ES, and sometimes I will take a trade on the ES if it presents a trade before the NQ does. So if it has a setup and offers me an entry first, then I'll take it on the ES instead of the NQ. It just really depends. So, yeah, on the ES, if I'm looking at the ES here on the 1 minute chart, I mean, you really want to see it trade back into this. Your worst entry, 80.75. You could probably take an entry at 80 and a quarter, looks like, for a long. It potentially may not trade back below 81.50, though. That's where that volume imbalance is there on the 1 minute. So let's see. Yeah, and on the 3 minute on the ES, looks like 82 would be your entry on the 3 minute chart. I do like the 3 minute chart on the ES. So 82 and then your stop 79. That's pretty minimal risk. You can just target the 89 area. So this is where I kind of struggle, though. You see how this kind of traded back into this area, and then it's kind of moving out of there. But it should come on back and tag us in. I want to get the best entry possible on this trade. Yeah, you're waiting for 82. That would make sense on the 3 minute chart for sure. I mean, that's the setup that I'd be looking for. And what's better, actually looking there on the ES, we'll pull it up here on the 3 minute chart. As you can see, the ES broke through this fair value gap, right? So it already invalidated this gap, which is nice. So you could target that, I'd probably target that 89 area, somewhere up in here. So if you get filled at 82, take one off at 87. And then maybe try to leave a runner on. But yeah, the ES is looking, it's looking good for this move up as well. Let's see if we can't get tagged in here. Seems like it's so far away, but it's not. Not that far away. Should be able to come on back down and tag us in here. I really just want to hit the hit the buy button so bad here, but let's just wait. Come on. It's funny how this works, right? You're like, come on, come back down, tag me in. And then as soon as it tags you in, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't need you to go down anymore. We need you to go up. So the ES trading back into that fair value gap now. Yeah, not looking bad at all there on the ES. Would normally, you know, if I was looking to take an entry on the ES, I'd take a long right here. Yeah, if you can see, we're being quite a bit more aggressive on the Apex account there than we are on the Top Step. All right, so it's kind of it's coming back into that area right there on the 3-minute chart, that imbalance. I'd like to see it spike on down through that imbalance and tag us in. Like I said, I am being a bit I don't want to say wishful thinking on the entry, because I think this is a decent spot for it to come down and tag us in, but we might be a tick or two off. Repainting the imbalance now. Come on, one more point. This thing bounces out of there without us, that's going to kind of suck. I think it should be able to get us tagged in here, though. Come on now. Don't do me dirty. All right, I may just go ahead and just enter here.
Order filled. Order filled.
Not the entry I was looking for, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do now is let's we're going to take 4 off at 17. And we'll leave a runner on. And then over here we'll take 1 off. Up this area up here, same area, 17. It'll go back down to my original entry, I'm sure, now that I did that. Probably. I'll let the impatience get the best of me there, but it may not. You never know. I'm just going to put my stop right there at 91.25. See if we can't get that move up through 17. I'd feel okay about that. You're in? All right, good. Let's see here. Yeah, ES traded a little deeper into that gap than I would have liked, to be honest. But that's all right. Like to see it bounce out of there. Get back above that 20. Approach that VWAP up at 86 would be nice. I like to see this thing trade through that 10 level. I was going to say pretty quickly, but I mean, obviously we'd like it to trade through the 10 level quickly, but may not get that as fast as we want. Just thinking I might take 2 off at 1150. Yeah, I think that's what I may do over here on this account. May take 2 off at 12, and then 2 more at 17. And on the over here on the top step account, we'll just kind of let it go. The reason why I'm treating the apex differently is the drawdown. ICT, Cron, yeah, I do both. I trade momentum trades, and I also do some ICT entries. This would be your silver bullet setup, you know, between 3 and 4 a.m. That's what I'm looking for here. So yeah, and then during the New York session between 10 and 11 a.m., I look for a very similar setup. I'm not going to say that all my trades are ICT influenced, but most of the time I try to, especially during the London session, I try to trade a specific sort of setup there. So that's what the idea for this trade would be. Where are you from, Kron? Are you in the States, or are you overseas somewhere? So like I said, I like to see this thing break that 10 level, that swing high that it created. I'd like to see it break through there pretty quickly. Kind of give us some confirmation that we're going in the right direction. Kosovo. I have no idea where that is. I'm in Georgia, in the U.S. Let me look and see where that is. I have no clue. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to pick that out on the map. What time is it there? I would assume it's probably middle of the day there, or early morning. I'd have to be probably midday or afternoon, I would imagine. So let's look at the ES here. Looks like it's trading up out of the gap there, trying to get above that 20 SMA on the 3-minute chart. Trying to push on up. Like to see it trade back above that 84, get above that pivot strong. Get the ES going here. We'll get the Nasdaq going with it. You see the NQ kind of trading back down here. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. here, Kron. Yeah. So 9:30 there. Makes sense. Yeah, I get up for the London session because, I don't know, I just like it. I like the action that we get in the London session here. See, I told you this thing will probably go back to my original entry. Original entry was going to be 97.25. So let's see if this thing, this is where my patience or lack of patience comes into play. Tapping that 98 again. Again, this is trading up into that bearish fair value gap right there on the 3-minute chart that you see. So there is a potential that we're just off sides. And, you know, maybe it's going to trade down, but I don't think so. We don't think so, but nothing's perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. Yeah, literally the last London session I traded, I was on vacation, and I got up at 3 a.m. while I was on vacation and traded the London. And I closed my position at 4:01 a.m. I was long. I was in the profit, but I think I closed it for like 6 or 7 handles. And then as soon as I closed the position, within 9 minutes, we shot up like 40 more handles. So I was kind of frustrated. I was like, man, if I'd have just left a runner on. That's what I said. When I don't leave a runner on, it goes. And then when I do leave a runner on, I didn't do anything. So that's the frustrating part. So if anybody here is interested in trading futures, again, we do have the link right there in the description for Apex. They do have 90% off through July 6th at midnight Eastern. So got the code right there in the banner. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. It does help the channel. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Feel free to chat. Keep us awake over here. It is 3:38 in the morning. So 90% of your trades are in New York. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. New York's definitely, you know, that's where it is. I like the New York session as well, but obviously it moves slower during the London session. But man, there are some setups during London that I've found. Sometimes I just try to take kind of the 10 handle setups and during the London session, and then other times I'll target kind of a bigger range. Tonight might just be something where I should just be looking for 10 handles, and that might be, you know, if we don't get to moving here with some authority, then we may change our mind and take our position off at 10. But let's just see what happens. I'll tell you though, I mean, that New York session, it is, you know, it's a bit tougher to read sometimes. Easier if you know, I have kind of figured out where if you just get tunnel vision, you kind of look for one specific setup. So if you're an ICT trader or whatever, look for the silver bullet, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern. It makes it a little easier. Sometimes I get drawn in on those first 15 minutes of the day, and that kind of hurts me. I'll get that tunnel vision on this first 15 minutes and think I can just jump in and make a quick 20 handles. And sometimes you can, but you can lose those 20 handles pretty fast too. So see if we can't get this push up through the 10 here. Sure would be nice just to get filled on the first 2 contracts, kind of lock in some profit. It is a little bit worrisome that we have not traded through that fair value gap there yet, but the bearish gap that is kind of holding at this point. I do like that the ES kind of traded through its gap, but ES kind of pinned right there at that 82 level. Gotta get one or the other going to bring the other one with it. So we will see what it brings. This is where I struggle, where when it's not going, you know, it's just kind of bouncing around the same levels over and over and over. You start second guessing your entry, second guessing whether you should have just taken profit. But to keep my risk to reward correct, I mean, taking short profit's not what I need to be doing. So like to at least clear 10 handles and then kind of go from there. So give this thing the time and the patience that it needs and go from there. I suppose the ES is doing something very similar there. It looks like it's just pinned at 82. Not really making any sort of a move up yet. I'd imagine it'll start getting going here soon. Yeah, patience. That's the problem, Kron. We don't have a lot of patience. That's why, it's, like I said, it's crazy because like the first 6-7 months that I traded futures, I was on the ES. And I like the ES, and then I just switched over to the NQ, and now I like the NQ better. So we'll see. My risk to reward is usually 2 to 1, so I try to risk, $400. I'll risk $200 for $400. Typically, trying to keep a 2 to 1 risk to reward. Doesn't always work that way because sometimes on the sometimes on the Nasdaq, your stop has to be a bit wider than you'd like it to be, and there's nothing you can do about that. You have to put it where you have to put it. So, like right now, we're at 10 handles in risk. Really for 20 handles, but I'm going to take some size off at 10. So it's kind of a 1 to 1. Well, it's really 2 to 1, but you get what I'm saying. As my ultimate target really is the 20 handles, but if we don't get it, we don't get it. Yeah, that's the thing. ES has been holding up a lot better. You're right about that. I'll see the Nasdaq. It'll be, we'll be trending down, and the ES will be holding. So it'll be holding pretty steady there. So I do kind of, I pay attention to both to just see what's going on. I like for them to kind of be in harmony, but it doesn't always work that way. Finally getting a move back up to the pivot there on the ES here. Let's see if this thing can break through there. Get through that 84 level strong. Maybe bring the NQ with it. If you guys just joined us, the kind of idea for this trade was we had a market structure shift to the upside here after we created a new low. We left a fair value gap here. On the 1 minute chart, you can see we traded back into it. I was looking for a little bit more. I was looking for an entry at the 97.25 with this little imbalance that we have here, but did not quite trade back into that area, and then it started to trade out, so I hit my buy button here. I knew, I normally would have had my entry at 99.25, but I was trying to be a little more aggressive with the entry, and ended up taking a worse entry, but that's okay. All right, starting to get this move up here. ES is kind of moving up to this pivot. Like I said, I'd like to get this through the 10 level strong there on the NQ. Take out our first target at 12 on the Apex account here on the right. And then at that point, it'll pretty much just be a free trade. I may go ahead and just take this one off, take one off at 12 also, and then see if we can't still get a move through the pivot. Got a pivot around 17 on the NQ, so we'll probably have some resistance there. But as soon as we move through the 12, we'll be able to move our stop to break even and reduce the risk on this trade. Take the risk off. So let's just see what happens, see if we get it. ES just kind of tapping there. Needs to get through there. It's at 81.75. What would you guys rather see? Would you rather see both screens with the NQ, or would you want me to split and put ES on one and the NQ on the other? So I'm only in a position on the NQ on two different accounts, but I mean I can move it. I can move these over because obviously I can see those on this other screen. See if we can't get this move up real quick here. $85 is your first take profit. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That'd break that swing high there. How many contracts are you trading over there, Kron? Are you on the minis or the micros? Starting to get this push up here. ES is pushing, trying to make a new little swing high here. See if it can push through this pivot strong. Get us our fill at 12. Then we can take the risk off and feel a little better about it. Approaching the 10. Want to see it push through this 10 level pretty strong here. Should be able to get just a little burst through that 10 area there. I'm going to go ahead and take these off so we can change our stops if we get filled here. Your charts in E-mini, you trade the US 500. You took 30 lots. Gotcha. Let's get this pushed through the 12 there. Nice and strong would be ideal. Do not really want to double top here. Really want to get this pushed through there. I mean, it may want to come back and clean up this imbalance before it continues higher. Left a little volume imbalance there. Trying to be patient here, but I really wanted to see that break through that 10 level there quickly. I don't really like that it didn't. I'm trying to give it a little moment here to Maybe take a breath and then get through there. ES didn't quite make it through the pivot either. Kind of tapped 83 and then turned back down a little bit. Then we get the strong push through there now. I want to see it break that 10 level here. Want to see it break the 10 level. Let's not double top here. Let's just get on through that 10 level. ES trying to reapproach the 83. See if it can't push through there strong. ES gets above this pivot. We start going, I think. It's kind of what I think. Just need to get through this 10 level strong, and then we can approach the pivot there at 17. All right, looking a little better now. Finally pierced through that 10 level. Let's move on through there, get me filled at the 12. ES approached the 83 once again. It's not quite broken through there yet. Yeah, Kron, I live stream every day, 5 days a week. I do the New York session and the London session 5 days a week. So 3 to 4 a.m. Eastern, and then 9:30 a.m. to usually, I don't know, sometimes 11 or 12. Just depends on what I got going on. And I'm not a live streamer that's going to just sit there and talk and not take trades. So that's kind of the it's not an issue, but you know, I'm not going to sit there and talk and just not take entries. If I'm not looking for an entry, I'm not going to live stream. I know there are some streamers that'll sit there and just talk, and they have no intentions of kind of taking a trade, but it's not what I do. Not really in love with the fact that it kind of took that liquidity at the 10 and now it's pulling back, but let's see what happens. I mean, we were literally, what, 0.1.25 away from being filled at the 12. So let's just try to display some patience here, see if this thing will trade back up in there. Like I said, there was that volume imbalance there at the 05 area. So kind of approaching the top of the hour here in about 5 minutes. So see if we can get some energy here, get pushing through there. Like I said, I need the ES to get above this pivot. ES keeps bouncing off that pivot, bouncing, not quite getting through there. Need to get some more volume in here to get this thing going. Yeah, sleep schedule, yeah, you know. I'm one of those people that I kind of go back to sleep pretty easily, so I can get up for an hour in the middle of the night, even hour and a half, 2 hours, trade. I'll go right back to sleep. I'll typically stay up to about 11 o'clock Eastern. I'll sleep for, 3 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Get up for an hour or two. Go back to sleep, wake back up at 8. Get some breakfast. And then wait for the market to open at 9:30. So, my sleep schedule. Oh God, that's his sleep schedule too, right? He said he gets up in the middle of the night. He's like, "What are we doing?" So, but anyways, it looks like it's trading back down here. It's 97 and a quarter. So it went right back to where my original entry I wanted it to be. That's that goes back to my patience or lack thereof. All right, let's make sure we got our stops in the right spot, since this thing is not looking like it wants to cooperate. Went right back to our original entry, and then, ideally we want to see it pop out of here strong with some strength. Yeah, I'm not in love with it either. I'm watching the ES. I mean, if I would have been stopped out on the ES already. My problem is if I kill it, it'll bounce out of here and go. So we're going to give it a little bit of time. Kind of watching the 50% area of that breaker. Seeing if it kind of respects that area and then bounces out of here. That would be ideal. Obviously if the ES kind of trades back and makes a new low, then we're not going to like it. But kind of coming up onto the top of the hour here. Let's see if it gives us that push up that we need. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like I told you, I had a feeling it was going to repaint this imbalance here, and that's just what it did. And now it's kind of moving out of there, but that's what I was looking for earlier. Just didn't have the patience to leave my order here. So that's the thing when you're up, 8-9 points on the trade, especially with 5 contracts, and you don't take profit. See, that's the thing about this Apex account that's frustrating. So if I get stopped out for a loss here, let's say $1,000 loss, and I was up $800, then all of a sudden this will just crush this account. So so we'll see. I think that we'll get a little push up here at the top of the hour. So we'll see what happens. Like I told you, I've had times where I kind of freak out and I take the profit early, or I move my stop up too quickly, and then it'll bounce right out of there and go right to my target after it stopped me out. So let's just kind of try to trust the trade here. See if it does what we want it to do. I want to see it break the 12 here pretty quickly, and then we'll go from there. We will go from there. Just kind of watching it here. Don't want it to hang out down here too long. The ES is kind of going for the lows. Kind of watching that 95, 96 area. I want to see the bodies of the candles. Kind of respect that area there. This is where it kind of tests my patience, because if it goes back into the green here, this is going to make me want to just kill it, to be honest with you. But we're going to try to wait. Give it the time that it potentially needs to go here. Still feels like it's going to go. Again, still watching this 95, 96 area. Want to see the bodies of the candle, kind of respect that order block there. If it doesn't, it's going to give me the idea that it's probably going to come for my stop. And if they don't respect that area, then we'll just manually kill it. If it closes under 80, probably a good call. Looks like it's kind of bouncing out of there now. This is where I, like I said, I mean, I openly admit that I struggle here. Once I start taking some drawdown, then it really wants me to, you know, I like to reduce size at that point. Not really allow it to have the room that it sometimes needs. So I'd like to see this thing push up to the 10, 12 area there quickly. I'm going to move these up with it this time. This is exactly what it did to me the other night, though. I took it off at break even the other night. And then it ended up just going. So, not going to allow it to come back down now and stop me out for no profit. So, we're going to trail this thing up now. But I do want to see a nice swift move through the 12 here. I'm going to lock in 5 handles here on the top step, but want to see it. Okay. So we got filled there on the 1. And then we're going to lock in 10 handles at least right there. And we will let we'll let this last one go. See how far it can go. So we'll move this one down to, let's see, this 07.25. So I'll lock in the $300 on the top step account there for the night. If it comes back and hits the 07.25, I'm okay with that. Would like to see this thing trade on up there. And I'll leave the 1. I don't know. Maybe I should leave the 1 running. I'll give it a little room on top step. And this is where I struggle on trying to figure out which one I should be giving more room on versus not. I think we'll give some room here on top step. We have a bit of a worse feel. So we'll lock in like $25 there and see what happens. And we'll keep our stop at break even here on Apex as well. So can't lose. Yeah, that's me too, Kron. I mean, like, that was I mean, I thought it was going to go, but, like, you know, kind of test your mental there a little bit. And that's the thing. That's what I was saying at 97.25, which is, you know, that volume imbalance right there. That's where I was wanting my original fill. I got impatient and took the, you know, took the entry, took the worst entry, took a worse entry 5 handles up. So this is where I struggle. I mean, with 4 contracts, 5 handles, I mean, you're looking at, you know, another, what is that? 8 times 5, $400 more. So I'd be up 1,000 if I would have just been patient and just said, you know what? It's either going to come back and tag me in or I'm not going to take the entry, right? But I didn't do that. So there you go. Really want to see this hold. You know, I got my stop. Really want to see it hold that 20 SMA there at 04 for a possible bounce up. I don't know that it will, but that's what we'd like to see. For a continue move through that 17 area there. Yeah, the ES it actually looked a little more scary there. The only thing I will say is as long as you had your stop at the low of day, it looked like it was coming for you. It did create another fair value gap on the 1 minute chart there, which was nice, you know, when it came back down and blasted back out of there. So let's see if we can, you know, if we can't get this move up through the 20s. I mean, really could target a little higher here, 26, maybe target that VWAP. I'm okay with just leaving it at 23, though, to be honest. We'll see what happens. Guys, if you're new here, if you haven't already, hit that like button for me, subscribe. Don't be afraid to say something there in the chat. Helps keep me awake. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you're interested in trading futures at all, we do have the link there in the chat for Apex. I got 90% off currently through July 6th at midnight. So you can take advantage of that using my code there in the banner. Getting a little push back up here. Let's see if we can get a strong push through that pivot. Maybe overshoot that pivot a little bit. Take that liquidity out there at the 22 level. Get us filled on our runner. That would be nice. Like I said, guys, if you're new here, we do stream 5 days a week. I stream the New York session and the London session 5 days a week. I don't stream the afternoon New York session because I don't feel like I see that market quite as well. It's harder for me to get reads on entries and exits there for whatever reason. I just find that I struggle a bit in the afternoon. So like to see this trade right through that 18 level, kind of close out this fair value gap and continue higher, get above that pivot at 17 and just keep going. But at this point, we are in at break even, so can't lose on the trade, so nothing to do here, but let's just wait and see. It's either going to hit our target or it's not. Actually, I'm considering taking the trade off of the top step here and just locking in a little bit of profit because I am currently in drawdown on this account, but the smart thing to do is just leave it on. And see what happens. We'll leave it on. Yeah, that bullish order block. I see that. Yeah, you can see it pretty clearly there on the 1 minute. It held that, the bodies of the candle held that 50% level perfectly. Still would have scared me, though. It scared me for sure if I had my stop there at the low of day. That's the hardest part sometimes, not taking it off when you think it's running for your stop. So At least for me, that's the hardest part. All right, well, let's get this pushed through here. ES still has not made it through that 83 level. It's kind of struggling there to get through there. One needs to get the other one going here. I think I'm going to lock in $300 in profit here on the Top Step account. If it stops me, I'm okay with that.
Stop filled.
Just going to lock in 300 there. We'll let the other one kind of go. My math was off. 295. Should have been up one more tick, I guess. Let's see if we can't hold this SMA there on the 1 minute chart there at the 05 level. Either way, not a bad London session. Locking in, I don't know, almost $1,100 at this point, even if we get stopped out at break even here. Let's see. What is my entry? 0150. Yeah. So we'll put that one at 0250. Leave it there. That's the 20 SMA there on the 3 minute charts at the 04. So if it doesn't hold it, doesn't mean it's still not going to go. ES is moving back down. Not in love with that. Still have not broken the that bearish fair value gap right there. On the 3 minute chart right here, you can see on the this gap here. I mean, price is just struggling to get through there, right? Just not doing it. That's the scary thing sometimes about these setups, you know, is that you can look at them from both directions. You can say, oh, well, this is bullish, right? We had a shift in structure, but we still did not clear this gap. So not saying it can't get through there, but so far it's kind of respected that gap. Seems like we might get stopped out here. And what I like to look for is the sweep of liquidity, and that's what we had here. So even though we're trending down, you know, these setups are almost against the trend. Just making sure I wasn't overlooking anything here. Didn't have any extra orders on the book.
Stop filled.
And stopped out there. So that's fine. Ending the morning, $1,100. I'll take it. So obviously we left a couple $100 on the table there. That's the only thing about the so my drawdown is at $22.66 now on the Apex account. Current balance $51,395 on this one. So we're about halfway to getting this one done. Max, my dog's barking. But yeah, that's the thing, you know, with these setups. You know, it just traded right back up into this fair value gap here, and we've just not been able to get through there. So might have been looking to be a little bit too aggressive with this 23 take profit. Not to say it won't get through here, because it certainly might. The ES is bouncing right off that 79.50 level right now. Oh, see, that's what I do sometimes. I forget to. I got to remember to hit that exit when I adjust the ATM strategy, when I take multiple contracts. You guys, any of you guys use the group trader on Trade-of-8? It's not really an issue with it, but what's happening is let's say I take multiple contracts and I'm using the group trader to trade multiple accounts, then say I hit buy 3 times. So I have 3 different orders, hit buy 3 times, and I put my stop in the same spot. When I drag one stop into profit, because sometimes I'll do that, I'll drag one because I want to lock in profit on one contract. It moves all of my contracts, and then it'll take me out of the entire position. And I don't want it to do that. You guys have any idea as to what's causing that? Or is that just something that you have to deal with? I notice if you don't put your stops in the same spot, if you leave one tick in between them, then it doesn't do that. But otherwise it does. Kind of trading back here, doing me dirty. I mean, look at this. One tick below my stop. I guess I didn't have it quite low enough, and now it's bouncing out of there. And probably going to go to the 23 or higher. Yeah. How's it going, Joe? I guess I should have just had to stop at stone cold break even there, but I was just watching the 3-minute chart and I'm like, well, the 20 SMA's right here. And I know that the Nasdaq sometimes kind of paints outside the lines. You know, it's not going to bounce exactly off the SMA and stuff, but I figure I had it low enough. Yeah, I stopped using the trade copier because, I don't know, it just kind of messed with my psyche a little bit. Like, see, I wish that it would not show, and I'm sure I can just take it off if I wanted to. But, you know, if you're up, let's just say you're up $1,000 on a trade here, and you got 3 accounts, it's going to show you up 3,000 up here. And same thing with the loser. So it's just a mental thing. It messes with me when I look up here and I see, like, I'm in the red 1,000, but I'm only really in the red 330 or something like that, or 350. It's just kind of a mental thing. Yeah, and this thing is just going to come back, stop me out, and then go without me. I guess I should have just, I mean, really, to be honest with you, like I said, my entry is supposed to be down here at 97.25. So if that's my entry and I move to break even, and this is the problem with taking entries above where you should. So if I move to break even here, then my stop is here and it never gets touched. So when you take an entry, you know, especially on these ICT setups, when you take an entry when you're not supposed to, this is what messes with it. No, Joe, I'm not on vacation anymore. I'm back home. I got home yesterday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 11-hour drive home. Feels good to be home. So, in front of my setup that I'm comfortable with. I don't know if you guys have ever traded on the road, but man, it's difficult. It just is different. You're not used to, you know, it's just not the same. So, trading on the road. I mean, I have a nice mobile setup. I got a laptop, and I have 2 additional screens that kind of, you know, they hook around the laptop there, and I can still fit 6 charts on my laptop. But here at home, I have 3, 6, 9, 12. I got 15 charts open at one time, and I'm able to keep my OBS up so that I can see the chat. So it's just a lot different. Basically, I was unable to have all the ES charts open at the same time while I was on vacation. And I do like to see both. Hopefully you're still in this trade, Cron. We're finally looking like we're probably going to break through that 83 level. I don't know if you held through that bit of a pullback there. But it looks like this thing is going to move right up through here now. If this thing breaks that 84, I don't see how it doesn't go. Yeah, Joe, that's the thing. I mean, like, it's, you know, it's difficult. Plus, I'm in a hotel room with kind of dodgy internet, not great. You know, got gig service here at the house, and I was pulling like 10 down, 10 up at the hotel. I mean, it's strong enough, but, you know, and I don't think too many people are on at 3 a.m. But I did have the 3 boys asleep in the hotel room. We took a boys trip. And so they're 12, 13, and 14. And so, of course, you know, they're asleep while I'm trying to trade. And so I'm trying to be quiet, but at the same time, you know, being able to convey to my watchers what I'm doing or what I'm looking for. So, and the audio on the laptop just not great. So, just not great. I mean, I felt okay about this trade. The only thing I would say is I kind of mismanaged the entry. And that's what I just got done talking about there. I mean, this is my problem. Part of my problem is placing my entry. You know, I had it right there. And then it trades back, comes within 1 point or so of it. And then I just kind of panic, enter at a higher spot. And entry is everything, right? I mean, that's almost as important as your exit. It's really more important. So if I go to break even on this entry, we're still in it right here, and our 23 targets still in play. But hey, you can't be you're not going to be perfect no matter what you do. So you're in a bit of profit now, Cron. Perfect. Let's get this push on through the 84s. Yeah, my dog was mad at me. I have the Dachshund and had to leave him with different family and friends, and he wasn't very happy. He was happy when I got home, but I was gone for 10 days. So he probably thought I was just not coming back. That's what dogs do. But if you haven't already, hit that like button for me, subscribe. Like I said, I do stream 5 days a week, New York and London. So I will be back live again at 9:20ish a.m. for the London session today. And I'll be trading another. I don't know if I'll trade on this one or not anymore today. I try to kind of switch it up. Try to trade certain accounts during London and certain accounts during New York, just to kind of differentiate the two. But we'll see here. I'm going to be testing out a little bit of not a different strategy, but some new stuff during the New York session today. We'll see how it goes. So, but we will be trading our funded account. We'll have that set up probably, what's today, Wednesday? Is today Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. So we should have that set up tomorrow for our funded account. And we won't be taking 5 contracts on that one like we are here, but we'll probably just be trading 1 contract, looking for 10 handles. Try to get that one to the payout threshold. So didn't quite make it through that pivot yet on the ES. Kind of traded right, on the NQ, traded right up to it, and then kind of got a little rejection there. Need to get that thing going. Get through that pivot there at 17. I think if we can get above 17, we got ES at the pivot here at 83. And then you got NQ at the pivot at 17. These things, they need to get through there to kind of get going. Once we get through there, this thing should start going. Is anybody in here doing any of the challenges, or are you guys all trading the live accounts, personal accounts? I have a personal account. I haven't traded in a while. I just had not found the consistency that I wanted using the personal account, so I stopped trading it and started doing these challenges, trying to get some funded accounts this way, thinking maybe I'd do a little better with someone else's money. But we just got the 1 account funded so far, so kind of struggled in the top step. I was like $550 away in the Top Step account from being funded and decided to trade FOMC. I don't know why I did it. I know it's not smart, but I put an order on the book to I bought, I don't remember what it was specifically, but I had a $100 stop loss on it. And I don't know if you guys have ever done something stupid like this, but so it went up, filled my order, didn't hit my take profit, and then shot back down. And even though I had a $100 stop loss, it stopped me out for $2,385 loss. It felt bad. It felt bad. So Joe's on vacation in Spain. Nice. No trades until next week. Probably the smart thing to do. I probably would do that too, but you know, it's not what we're doing. Cron, you're in the 5K challenge. Yeah, there is a bit of a divergence going on. It's kind of, I mean, the dollar's kind of pulling back. It's kind of leveling off now, but it's been kind of moving up. It's been moving up since 3 a.m. I don't always pay attention to the dollar, but it's interesting to watch sometimes how it's, you know, how that works. I'm trying to wait and see if this thing is going to get through 23 or not. I guess it may take more time to kind of get through that level. Still kind of holding up here at the pivots. Yeah, I like Apex and I like Top Step. The thing I like about Top Step is obviously I like that they came out with the new prices, you know, to make it cheaper. The 165 50K account's now only $49. The only thing I didn't really like about it was, you know, they said one rule, but to me, you still have a trailing drawdown, you still have a daily loss limit, and while those things don't, you know, they don't close your account out, they're still what I consider rules. So really, it's still 3 rules, not 1, but I do like the price. I like the end of day drawdown. It's the thing that I don't like about Apex is the trailing drawdown. You have to be very aware if you're taking larger size, especially in these challenge accounts, which is what I was doing here. You know, that's what I was saying. At this point, I was up maybe $800, and then I had a $1,000 stop loss. So if I'm up $800 and I don't take it, and then this trades back down and stops me out for a $1,000 loss, now all of a sudden I'm down $1,800 in the drawdown, and you only got $2,500. So then I would have to reduce size to kind of get out of there. It's the only thing I don't like about it, but I do like the price for Apex and everything else. And the trailing drawdown does go away after you pass the funded account and you get above the threshold at 2,600 for the 50K. Then it does kind of go away, and that's I do like that. So we'll see how that goes when we start trading the funded account on Thursday. Thing is, I'm still going to take the same type of entries, you know, that I do here. It's going to be the same trades. It's just probably going to take a little shorter of a take profit. 10 handles will probably be where it's at, which that's pretty much what I got on these today anyway. And I took 2 contracts only on Top Step because if you're familiar with Top Step, that's what they limit you to. It's 2 handles, or I'm sorry, 2 contracts until you get above $2,000 in step 2. Then I think you can take 3 or 4. So, which with $1,000 daily loss limit, 2 contracts is probably where you should be anyway. Because if we're risking 10 points on 2 contracts, that's already $400. So you don't hit that first trade, you'd be in trouble. All right, so looks like this thing's about to push back up and retest this pivot again. See if it's able to push through there this time. I believe it probably will. ES is approaching the pivot again as well. Here, let's move. We'll put the ES over here. There we go. So you can see the ES moved up here, broke structure. I like that it cleared this fair value gap here. Created a fair value gap, traded back down. I mean, your stop on the ES, 79. Entry at 82, so you're really only risking 3 handles here. $150 if you only have one contract on the minis. And, you know, I would probably target 86, 87, somewhere in there. Try to get 5 handles. But it did, you know, left another fair value gap here, which is nice. Got to get above this pivot at 83. You can see it's just kind of rejected this pivot. It broke structure here, broke the pivot, and then ever since then, it's just not been able to do it. Not been able to get above there. So it needs to get above there strong to get going. Let's check the larger time frames here. Well, I guess technically this pivot, this bearish gap here has not been broken yet, because it can wick above it, but if the body of the candle doesn't close above it, then it's still valid. So doesn't look as strong on the 5-minute there, and then the 15-minute you can see. I mean, we're just kind of trading in a range, you know, not really going. Kind of needs to get going, though, if it's going to go. Well, I don't think this thing's going to get to the 23 right now, so yeah, it's kind of bouncing off this fair value gap here. Funny thing is, you'll sit here, right? You'll sit here and wait on it, wait on it, wait on it, and like, man, is it going to do it? Is it going to do it? And then as soon as you close your trade or walk away, then it goes right to where you wanted it to go. It's usually the way of it anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I guess while we got time here, let me go ahead and take a look at this. My indicator, my VWAP is off of my charts and I know it's not on any of these. Yeah, for whatever reason, the VWAP is gone off of my chart here, off of the Apex charts. I don't know why it does that. Occasionally it'll just do that. It'll just disappear. You guys ever have that happen? And then when you look for VWAP, like, we don't want the bands, we don't want the ticky, we don't want the anchored, we just want the normal VWAP. So then I have to look and find the VWAP in one of these other kind of indicators, like entire session. But it says save and not install. So whenever I click the ones that say save, it doesn't show up for whatever reason. At least not that I've seen. Let's see. We'll click save. And it'll say the chart template has been saved to your list. Is that here? Oh, okay. Maybe it is here. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, I don't know. That's not what we're looking for there. 2000 tick chart. No, I don't know. So I'm not sure. You guys ever have that problem there? For whatever reason, that stuff's just been disappearing off my chart. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know. You saw that it's consolidating. Let's see. It's too much, so I closed it with a slight profit. After 30 minutes, it hit my take profit. Yeah, I'm telling you. That was rough right there. Yeah, I don't know. I can't, so I don't know how to get the VWAP back on here. I have no idea where it went. I know before to get it, I had it on, you know, usually it's under volume based, and then you'd see VWAP there. But for whatever reason, it's not there anymore. I mean, it's not that big a deal because I do have it on my top step, and I usually just use the VWAP on the 3-minute chart. But just in case I'm not using top step, I'd like to have it on the other one. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, Joe. The indicators, I mean, I know they're not necessary, but I find that the 20 SMA and the VWAP on the 3-minute chart does kind of give me an idea of where we could, you know, have some support and resistance. And, you know, while it's not that important if you're using a ICT setup, it does kind of, you know, like I said, I don't only trade ICT setups. So sometimes I take momentum trades and a nice break of the VWAP or, you know, something like that. In the morning time, in that 9:30 hour, 9:30 to 10 o'clock, sometimes I take some trades. I like to have them there, just to give me some reference. So, yeah, it's probably a good thing you covered there, Kron. This looks like this thing is just about to just dump out of here. Again, we never cleared this this fair value gap here, and it looks like it's just about to go. ES trading all the way back to 79.75 here. I'm not really liking the way the ES looks on that 1-minute chart. Volumes kind of just fell off here as well. So, but that being said, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a session. So we're ending the session up $1,100, if my math is right. And, you know, I feel okay about the trade that we took. So if you haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I will be live again at 9:20 a.m. this morning Eastern for the New York session. And then I'll be live again tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. for the London session. So join me if you guys want. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. And we will see you then. Thanks.